What it do, Packer Nation? I'm Camille Davis, and this is a quick hits episode from the Pack a Day podcast. I'm not here to waste your time. I'm just here to let you know a little bit of what's on my mind after that 16-10 Packers win over the Colts. With that win, let's just start here. With that win, the Packers have a league high 12 consecutive home opening wins. Let's stop there, give them some applause and praise for that in itself, especially under these circumstances here where they had to go out here and win a game without their franchise quarterback. They had Malik Willis in starting for the Pack attack. And this comes in the situation where Malik Willis came into the game with not much experience. 67 career attempts coming into this game. And Malik Willis finished the game, completing 12 of 14 of his passes, 122 yards, plus a touchdown. He had a 126.8 passer rating. He also had 6 carries for 41 yards. He had no career touchdowns before this as well, got his first. His previous career high in passing yards was 99, surpassed that. His previous career high in passing rating in a start was 49. Clearly smashed past that. Matt LaFleur had a great game plan in place to put his team in the best position to succeed. And now going into this game, there was a lot of conversation, a lot of scuttlebutt about what it would look like for the Packers and if Jordan Love would be able to go. I saw on Twitter, Ryan Wood mention the fact that Elton Jenkins told him that the Packers weren't really sure who was going to be the quarterback throughout the week. And the beauty of what Matt LaFleur game planned for this team was that it wasn't going to change much regardless of the quarterback. Even if Jordan Love played, the idea was still to run the ball a lot to protect Jordan Love, to protect their quarterback. And in this game, they still ran the ball a lot to protect their quarterback, Malik Willis, albeit in a different way. But yet and still, the game plan was going to be the same. And shout out to Matt LaFleur and the coaching job that they did in this particular game. This was a game of a lot of complimentary football. Like, we've heard Matt LaFleur for ages talk about being all gas and no brakes when it comes to how he runs things with the Green Bay Packers. And he came out in this game, for example, he had to say, some gas, some brakes, but it was all for the betterment of the team in itself. Think about it. When the second half was getting ready to start, as the Packers were closing the second quarter, right? Packers get the ball back with like a minute 40 left with timeouts at their disposal. And they didn't try to put together a 2-minute drive. They just ran the ball a few times and got out of there. And after the game, Matt LaFleur was like, some call it conservative, but I would call it smart. Like, running a 2-minute drill with a quarterback who's only been here for 3 weeks would have been reckless. And that's why he's the head coach and not me, because I might have still been all gas, all brakes out there. But again, a beautiful coaching job from Matt LaFleur with the game plan being run the ball, and run the ball they did. Shout out to Josh Jacobs and the effort that he had. 151 rushing yards, the most by a Packer running back in a single game since Aaron Jones ripped off 168 of them things against the Lions back in 2020. And yes, Josh Jacobs did have a goal line fumble. That did change the math for this game. Had he scored that touchdown, Packers would have been up 17-0. Different dynamic at play. Yet and still, even despite that snafu, the Packers depended on Jacobs to have a big game, and he delivered with that. So I love to see that from him. Love to see the offensive line opening up holes for the run game to succeed. Matt LaFleur mentioned the fact that he told the offensive line, he said he challenged them. They had a shaky day of practice earlier in the week, and he went into their room during the meeting and said, listen, we're winning the game through you guys. And he thought that they stepped up, and I'd have to agree with that. I mean, the offense did their job. They had a whopping advantage in time of possession, 40 minutes, 11 seconds to the Colts, 19 minutes and 49 seconds. It was impressive. Another thing that was impressive to me after this game, the turnovers. The defense created 3 interceptions. Packers are now up to 5 interceptions on the season, coming off of a year where they only had 7 for the entire season. Loved to see that. Now, I know there's been some rumblings about the pass rush not being as dominant as people thought it would be based on reports coming out of camp. This is the second week in a row where the Packers defense had to deal with a mobile quarterback. And outside of some big runs from Richardson to end the game, the Packers did a pretty good job of keeping him contained and in the pocket. And also, before I move on to defense, shout out to Eric Wilson, who had himself a day. Impact plays throughout the second half when the pressure was on for this defense to keep responding. He forced a fumble on Taylor, even though the Colts punched out of bounds and we didn't get it back and the ball's on the ground forever, but no one seemed to see it. It'd be like that sometimes. He also played Richardson to a T on the speed option, which led to a crucial tackle for loss on 3rd and 1, which set up the Colts for a field goal that they missed. He also had an interception while defending Michael Pittman on the slant. Like, he ran that mug like a wide receiver. So that was beautiful. Shout out to Eric Wilson on a big day. And if we're talking complimentary football, it was also complimentary with the fact that the special teams came through and they did their thing. Special teams has been laughably bad for the Packers for a minute. Aside from the missed kick from Braden Naverson that would have put it up to a 2-possession game for the Packers, special teams did their job, especially Daniel Whelan. Like, that was the first player that Matt LaFleur shouted out in his presser. And I see why. He only had 3 punts today, and all 3 pinned the Colts within their 20. They came at big moments in the game, especially the very last punt, which set the Colts at their own 5 to try to put together a game-winning drive. Like, big stuff from the punter there. So shout out to special teams as well. We want to see the kicking get tightened up a little bit. You want to see the run defense tighten up a little bit. There are areas for this team to improve, but they came into this game with the backup quarterback and came out with a big win. And if you're saying, like, it's not that big of a win, it's only week 2. Since the 1970 AFL-NFL merger, 416 teams have started the season 0-2. Just 40 of those teams qualified for the playoffs. That is only 9.6%. So although it's early, it was a big game for the Packers, and they delivered in a big way. Just wanted to give some post-game thoughts on how things went for the Packers against the Colts in that 16-10 win. Packers are now 1-1 on the season. It's time to keep moving. Bring on the Titans. I'll be back with some more Packer content for sure. So make sure you keep it locked in on the Pack a Day podcast, not just for these little quick hits from me, but from the whole team, from what Ross is doing to what Andy is doing consistently. Make sure you're subscribed on the YouTube side of things for Pack a Day podcast. Amazing work going on over here. And make sure you're also subscribed on the audio platforms as well. That's all I got for you guys today. I'm Camille Davis. If you want to catch me on Twitter, I'm at Camille Monet, CamilleMonae. And as always, everybody, go Pack Go.